Hey peoples, welcome to another movie review of the Netflix film Uncorked. So Uncorked is about a guy named Elijah. Elijah works at his family's restaurant, but he'd rather spend his time studying wine. Conflicts begin to build between Elijah and his father when Elijah decides that he wants to go to school to become a sommelier, but his father wants him to take over the family business. And that's the movie. I want to start off by talking about my favorite part of the movie, and that was the family. The family feels so authentic. The joking, the playfulness, the little jabs at one another, and the love makes you believe that they are a real family. I haven't seen a family that felt this real since the movie The Farewell, and it would take me a while to think of a good movie family prior to that movie. Speaking of The Farewell, you should go watch that movie, it's really good. But anyway, the family interactions are so funny and heartwarming, which is a good and a bad thing. It's good because they suck into the film, it's bad because there aren't as many interactions in the movie as I'd like. The family scenes are where most of the movie's comedy is, and I feel like a few more injections of them in other parts of the film would have picked up the movie during some of the times where the energy felt kind of flat. The only family interactions we get in the second half of the movie are from Elijah's mom and dad, but I would have also enjoyed a few more scenes between Elijah's sister or his cousin, especially the sister because I really enjoyed her interaction with Elijah. And just as I wanted more scenes with the family, I also wanted more scenes to establish other characters within the movie. I feel like the movie could have done more to build the romantic relationship and also the friendships. The romantic relationship seems to vanish for gaps of the film, and it also feels like we're missing a few scenes between the couple. I enjoyed them together overall, but they did feel a little rushed. Also, the friendships are rushed as well, and a good example of this is that one character is basically the jerk of the movie. The character just pops in the movie out of nowhere, despite the fact that Elijah should have been in contact with this character for quite a while. And then in a few scenes later, they're automatically cool with each other. So what did I miss? I really would have liked if they developed those relationships just a little bit more. But despite the lack of building for some characters, the story is solid overall. It does feel a little rushed in the second half, which is unfortunate because the movie actually introduces a new location in the second half of the film, but there is a montage during the second half of the movie, which adds to that rush feeling. So we really don't get to dive into this new world before we have to return to previous locations in the movie. The actual story isn't unique. We've seen multiple movies where parents had a plan for their child and the child wants to do their own thing. So there's friction between the parent and the child. So this movie isn't bringing anything new to the table, but it does this story well. But moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is the acting in this film. Everyone does a really great job. Niecy Nash is hilarious. It is always great when Courtney B. Vance pops up. He should be in more things. I don't know why he isn't. He is in one of my favorite movies of all time, which is The Preacher's Wife. If you haven't seen that movie, please go watch that movie. But my favorite person was the main actor, Mamadou Achi. He is fantastic. He is such a natural, his personality is warm and draws you in. He made me wish that this movie was a TV show so we would just get more of his acting over a longer period of time. The first time I saw him was in another Netflix movie called The Unicorn Store, and I really loved him in that, so it was really great to see him here leading his own film. I really hope he gets more opportunities like this because he deserves to be in the spotlight. This guy is great. And the last thing I want to talk about is my biggest negative and really my only major negative with the film, and that was the music. Specifically, the rap music. It did not fit at all. Music in a movie should feel like it fits the scene and the characters. Its job is to set the mood. Music in a movie can even be a character in itself, like the music in Guardians of the Galaxy or even Baby Driver. The movie opens up by showing us two different environments. One is of a vineyard and a winery. The other environment contains Elijah's father who is preparing to cook food. Rap music is played over both scenes, so neither setting fits the opening music of the film. But maybe the movie is trying to say that this music relates to our main character, Elijah. But it doesn't. The music doesn't describe our character's personality at all. Also, it doesn't seem to be a big part of his life. The movie kind of sets it up like it is a big part of his life because some of the first lines that he speaks in the movie are relating wine to rappers, but that's it. It's not a big portion of his life at all. He doesn't talk about wine in relation to music ever again in the movie. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that rap music couldn't have been used in the movie because there are so many subgenres of rap music. The one in this movie just didn't fit the movie for me. My best guess is that the movie seemed to try and paint the picture of the urban environment that they were in because we'd get shots of the city while the music was playing. The problem is that our characters never interact with the environment. The music in this movie made me feel like I was watching an episode of Atlanta. If you take that music and place it in an episode of Atlanta, it would make complete sense because of course one of the show's plots is about music, but also it creates an ambiance. And that ambiance works so well in that show because the characters are so intertwined with the world around them. That's what basically is the main part of the show, the characters interacting with the world. And like I said in the movie Uncorked, our characters aren't interacting with the world around them. They're in their own bubbles and the outside world is just the outside world. So the music in Uncorked becomes less of a piece of the movie and more of a distraction. But that's really only my big negative of the film, and it doesn't take away from the overall entertainment factor. I really enjoyed this movie. I love the characters, the acting, the writing, the comedy, the story, and it left me wanting to see more of this world. It's not perfect, but I personally go to the movies to watch this, but maybe only pay matinee price. But that's all, peoples. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Whatever. God bless. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.